Hi everybody, and welcome again to ZCodeSystem. Here we develop automated systems to help you win big. So we're going to get into some Major League Baseball action for July the 7th, but before we do, I'm going to invite you to join. You have access to the VIP Club section here. It has all these tools, all these tabs across the top to help you make your picks. Okay, so we're inching closer and closer to the All-Star break, very close now up to this point. We still have some games to be played up until then, and some of them will be some very important games as far as the standings go. So there's 10 games scheduled for July the 7th. We're going to look at 4 of them. First one is Tampa Bay and Detroit. Detroit comes in average down to 3-3 over the last 6. Tampa Bay is ice cold up. They are just 2-4 over the last 6. If you look at the over-under, the teams are trending on opposite sides of the line. Detroit, the last 3 games have been over the line, whereas Tampa Bay, 2 out of the last 4 have been under. The score prediction is for Tampa Bay 7, Detroit 2, but they take this very lightly at the moment because it's only 16% confidence in the prediction. On the Power Ranks indicator, you see Detroit here is at plus 18. They were up at plus 25. They have taken a dip, whereas Tampa was at plus 4 back on July the 2nd. They're up to plus 7. If you look at the head-to-head matchup between the two teams, they played last month in Tampa, and Tampa won 2 out of the 3 games, and they were mostly higher scoring games, 22 runs, 11 runs, and 12 runs. If we look at the stability factor, you can see here that Detroit is at plus 21, whereas Tampa Bay is at plus 3. You can see Tampa has not been very consistent all year. In fact, at their highest point back on April the 11th, it was plus 9. They have been up and down ever since, and right now they're at plus 3. If you look at a couple other things here, the Tigers are 30-14 at home. The Rays are 20-14 on the road. And let's see, is there anything else really to look at here? There's not a whole lot more to take a look at. Detroit is right there, the best team in the American League at the moment. So, and the Rays are just a game back in the tight American League East. So I like the Tigers at home in this one in the game over the line. Next one we want to look at is the Dodgers and the Brewers. The Dodgers come in with the best record in the National League. They're burning hot, winners of 5 out of the last 6. And Milwaukee's average down, losers of 3 out of the last 4 and 3-3 over the last 6. The score prediction right now is for the Dodgers 8, Milwaukee 3, 64% confidence in that prediction. And if we take a look at the over-under, you can see that 3 out of the last 4 Dodgers games have been under the line, whereas 3 out of the last 5 Milwaukee games have been under the line. So the trend has been under. Head-to-head wise, the teams have not yet met this season. On the Power Ranks indicator, the Dodgers are up at plus 24. They've been steady over the last couple of days. And Milwaukee was at plus 17 just yesterday, and they dipped down to plus 9 after that loss. We take a look here. The Dodgers have one of the best scoring differentials in the league at plus 100. And the Brewers are at plus 59. The Brewers are very good at home, 27-17. And the Dodgers are pretty outstanding on the road at 23-18. The Dodgers are 9-1 over the last 10 games. They are the best team probably in baseball right now, and I like their hot streak to continue. Let's go with the Dodgers. I'm going to pass on the over-under. Then we got Cleveland and Houston. Cleveland comes in dead status, losers of their last 6. They just really haven't been playing good baseball at all, and you can see that they've been under the line, involving games under the line in 4 of the last 6. Houston's average at the moment 4-2 of the last 6. Top record in the American League West though, and they are their over/unders 4 games over out of the last 6. So you can see the trend is on opposite sides of the over/under line. The score prediction has Houston by a 7-2 score. The confidence in the prediction is rather high at almost 80%. On the Power Ranks indicator, you can see Cleveland down here near the bottom at plus 1 after the recent skid. And Houston was at plus 20, and they took a nosedive yesterday down to plus 17. Let's take a look at a couple other things here. Houston is 32-14 at home, but the Guardians are 5 games under 500 on the road at 20-25. Houston has a very decided scoring differential edge of plus 48 minus 52. If we take a look at the head-to-head matchup, you see back in the beginning of June, it was Houston winning 2 out of 3 in Cleveland. But look at the scores, 4-2, 5-3, 4-2. Low-scoring contest in that one, all games under the line. And on the stability factor, both teams are relatively stable, relatively consistent regarding their favorite underdog status, with Cleveland at +10 and Houston at +8. Let's see, we did do the score prediction. So I like the Houston Astros to win this one at home, but it's going to be a lower scoring game, so let's go with Houston and under the line. Texas and the Angels, Arizona and San Diego Padres. The last one we want to look at is the Philadelphia Phillies and the San Francisco Giants. The Phillies are average up 4-2 over the last 6. They are in first place in the NL East, while the Giants are on a 2-game winning streak after losing the previous 4. They're 2-4 over the last 6. The over-under streak, you can see opposite sides of the line again. The last 3 Giants games have been over the line. The Phillies, 3 out of the last 4 have been under the line. Score prediction is for San Francisco to edge the Phillies 4-3. That would be an under the line score. The confidence in the prediction, though, is still very low at only 48%. Head-to-head, the teams did meet earlier this season in Philadelphia, with the Phillies winning 2 out of the 3 games. The 2 wins for the Phillies were 6-4, and the 1 win for the Giants was a blowout win of 11-4. On the Power Ranks indicator, the Giants are at +20 after the recent 2-game winning streak, and the Phillies have dropped a little bit. They were at +20, they're down now to +16. But look at this thing here at the volatility oscillator, the stability factor. You can see the Phillies are one of the most consistent teams in the league at +27, while the Giants are at +3. So what I'm going to look at here, one more thing here, is the Giants are 25-17 at home, and the Phillies are solid at 23-21 on the road. The Phillies have a slight scoring differential edge at +52 to +30. The Giants will likely be the home favorite, and because of that and the consistency factor of the Phillies, meaning that they're consistently playing with regard to their favorite underdog status, it'll probably be a Phillies loss. I'm going to go with a game under the line. So there you have it. Those are the games for Major League Baseball for July the 7th. Happy betting, and see you again next time.